I'm going to do this as a 2-shot.
So, can you not record this? We're just doing our own interview now.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I'm going to record it. I need to document. We'll stay out of your way.
Because he's part of them? I mean, the other... Yeah.
Well, maybe just shoot this way.
Yeah, we'll be out of your way.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I mean, it's because it's they want to keep track of their own messaging. But frankly, you shouldn't be filming me interviewing people on the street because that's infringing on them, right? So, Vijay, why did you guys set up this group?
Well, we think Canadians should know the other side of the vaccine issue. There are certain rare mainstream news articles that are revealing it, but the overall national conversation is one that's encouraging us to take the swine flu shot. There's a lot of information out there thanks to the independent media, thanks to the opportunity for whistleblowers in the health industry to express themselves. And so we're just sharing some of their views with our fellow Canadians.
Why do you think that's important?
Well, Canadians should know all sides of the issue before they make an important health-related decision. With respect to vaccines, there have been many questions about them said by many people over the years, including medical doctors like Russell Blaylock, Andrew Molden, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, another dozen I can name, who can explain this from a scientific perspective. Once Canadians hear both sides, then they can make the best choice based on who makes the most sense to them.
And on this particular issue, why do you think it's so important to get this message across now?
Well, what we're seeing in the paper right now is a ton of information about the swine flu, and we're being encouraged to take the shot. Canada is a signatory to World Health Organization international health regulations, and so they're mandating globally that they want everyone to be given a swine flu shot. First of all, many of us in Canada don't think that an international body should be dictating Canadian government health regulations. And second of all, because this is the most pressing issue with respect to a health decision that many Canadians will make over the next few weeks, we feel we want to give them the other side.
And why? And I'm sorry, I'm asking you again because I want to make sure I get your point across well. But why is it? Why do you think this particular issue is not clear for many Canadians?
I do, and I also think it is clear for many, including the ones here at this table. But many Canadians are only getting one side and aren't looking into it more. That's fair enough. Everyone's busy. People have different interests. But those of us who've looked more into this issue and who've researched the other side can say, if you haven't had the time, please take a look at this. Don't even believe me. Visit the websites on this piece of paper we give you or watch this DVD, and don't take my opinion for it. Take the opinions of the medical doctors, nurses, other healthcare experts, and scientists, and see if they make sense to you. If they do, then maybe you can make your decisions accordingly.
So what is it that you, in general, if you had to say, what is it that, what's the point of doing all this? What do you think that is? What's the main objective behind this happening?
The point of doing all this is to make sure Canadians have the other side of the issue that is not as widely promoted. There are certain rare mainstream news articles that are revealing it, but if they aren't repeated very often in different sectors of the media, then people might miss them. So what we're doing
beyond the media, what is it that you want people to come away with from this?
I would like people to come away with the idea that they need to look into important health decisions more. Most Canadians, or many Canadians I know, will read a can of soup, for example, to see what the fat content is, the salt content is, and so on, but they don't read what's in a vaccine before they inject it into their bloodstream. If they do, they'll see what doctors like Russell Blaylock have said, which is that mercury, which is used in the thimerosal preservative in vaccines, has toxic effects on the brain. This has been known for over 50 years. And other things like in vaccines like squalene also have negative effects in the body, and they trigger an autoimmune response which causes reactions in our body that are bad for us, according to many doctors. So we just want Canadians to know that, and all they have to do, no problem. All Canadians have to do is hear people with some expertise on this issue who are not normally promoted, and once they do that, then they can see who makes more sense. Perhaps it's David Butler-Jones at Health Canada, perhaps it's Dr. Shiv Chopra, a Health Canada whistleblower. If you get to hear both sides and both people, then you as an individual Canadian, smart, compassionate, can make the right decision and can share the information with your friends.
Okay, and just the one last question. I mean,
take a step to your left. No, you.
Yeah.
Take a step to your left.
Okay.
What do you? I mean, some Canadians, including a man we just saw now, might dismiss you guys as a fringe group that don't have all the facts. What do you respond to that?
Well, I mean, all we can do in a short conversation at this table here at Dundas Square is say, look, here's some of our key points. If you would like a ton of information on this, we've provided you sources where you can find that. And then there's nothing I can do in 30 seconds to really change your mind. But what I can do is I can say, take a look at this movie, watch it for 2 hours, hear a dozen doctors explain this issue among other professionals and experts, and then make up your own mind. But my goal is not to argue with anybody to convince them. My goal is simply to say, look, we as fellow Canadians want to share share some information that we've researched with you and allow you to make up your own mind. We're not trying to change anybody. We're not confrontational. We're very, very peaceful. If you want to talk to us, we'll talk to you. If you don't, it's not an issue. If you want to take a flyer, fine. If you don't, it's not an issue. And so we at TorontoTruthSeekers.com and PressForTruth.ca are basically doing that, and it's worked out well for the last 8 weeks.
So can you just tell me plainly what it is? You want people to think? You want people to have an informed choice? What is it exactly that you want them to come away with?
We want people to have the information to think about. If they don't have access to this information, then they can't review it. They can't think for themselves. Nobody can. It's not so much what you know, it's what you know when you find out. When you find out that there are healthcare professionals questioning vaccines, questioning the swine flu vaccine and the risks of vaccines in general, then you can evaluate their questioning. If you never have access to that information, then you can't. And because that information is rare in our culture, we're trying to share it here.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks, Vijay.
Admitted in the mainstream media that it is a mutating virus.
No, it hasn't.
Okay, well, if you'd like to, I can send you the...
No, I know, because I've been covering this week since April. In fact, it's not mutating. That's why I'm curious why that would be, I don't know, wondering where that source would come from.
Different people are analyzing the sort of the threat of the virus. It's invisible. It's in these countries. It's not. It kills some people. It doesn't. Some people get it and they recover. In Canada, hundreds of people have gotten it and magically recovered. I mean, that's at least what I read on certain Canadian news sources. And so the point is that there's a lot of different conflicting information about this.
Well, there's no question that the severity is minimal, but I'm just questioning where that information comes from, because you're kind of telling people things that I'm just curious where you get your sources.
I understand completely, and it should come to the top of my mind, but right now it's not. If you'd like to, if Dan has your contact info or whatever, we'll send you the article. You can judge, it's
I know.
Quality.
You're not going to get the whole story from anyone, including myself. I'm not going to get it from anybody. That's why I'm just curious where you get your information from.
None of us is omniscient, but we did float across that where people are saying it is a changing virus. Russia Today had a TV show where Wayne Madsen talked about this based on his sourcing. Scientists are saying that it is a changing virus, like all viruses mutate.
Get weaker. But mutate suggests. I guess it depends on what you're suggesting. When you're saying mutating, it could also suggest that it's getting worse, but mutating also suggests it just becomes inconsequential, right?
What does getting weaker mean? Does getting weaker mean it fundamentally changed?
It becomes a less mild strain. It becomes a more mild strain.
So that could be...
it's going to be part of the flu shot next year.
Yes.
What's in our flu shot now was another H1N1 that was in circulation last year. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just...
I know what you mean.
I don't know more than the average guy, believe me, but I'm just curious where you get your sources.
I think you're absolutely right to question that. What we've found is that...
I just want to stay out of a shot. Sorry, guys.
No problem. What we found that certain people are questioning this from a number of different angles. So we're sharing those angles, and then individuals can decide, well, this sounds credible to me, or this person made no sense. So.
Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys coming out today. It's great that we were able to.
Thank you so much.
Peace, right? Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Lovely to meet you.
Sure.
Yeah, anything else you need, please be in touch.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you guys going again on Saturday now? Or?
Yeah, every Saturday.
Here?
Yep.
This is where our permit's for.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, keep going.
So, we just did the interview with CBC. BK, tell us how it went.
I think it went pretty well. I tried to stick to the simple goal as opposed to the bigger picture, because the bigger picture is something that people need to find out on their own anyway. The only thing we can do with the street actions is we can share a little bit of information that we've uncovered and say, look into this more. You don't have the time to read all of this here. You don't have the time to watch this movie here. But we can give you a 30-second or 2-minute or 5-minute conversation, and then you can look into this for a few hours on your own time. So that's what we were trying to stress in the interview, is that all we're doing is providing information. You decide if it's good or bad. It's not us being didactic about it.
The shot is the pandemic.
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 The shot is the pandemic. You want us on 3 or after 3?
On 3.
What do you